Come on in, welcome to Idled Out, where we talk all things Survivor. My name is Luke, and today we're talking about 5 Survivor advantages that were literally just a curse. Usually on Survivor, you want an advantage. It gives you some sort of extra power in the game that, used well, can turn the tide of the entire season in your favor. In the new era, Survivor has embraced the idea of idols being riskier to obtain, so idols lately have come with their own caveats. You usually have to risk losing your vote to get them, but at least at the end of the day, you've got a full-blown immunity idol. But what about advantages that are not so good? These are the advantages you don't want to find on Survivor. Some advantages, either by design or simple ill conception, can cause you to lose social capital, put a huge target on your back, or literally just do nothing, with little to no upside to finding it. Which Survivor advantages were literally just a horrible, horrible curse for the finder? Let's find out as we dig into 5 Survivor advantages you don't want to find. At number 5 is the Amulet advantage in Survivor 42. Survivor 42 had an interesting twist in the opening challenge. In the second leg of this multi-leg challenge, 3 players must wait for each other to arrive and read this twist together in private. They each receive an amulet in secret. On its own, each amulet is worthless. But if and when all 3 amulets are on the same beach, their powers can be combined into a single extra vote. When there are only 2 amulets left, they can be combined into a single vote steal. And when there is just 1 amulet left in the game, that is, the other 2 amulet holders have been voted out, the amulet evolves into a full-blown immunity idol. Well, congrats guys, sounds great. Let us celebrate with the ceremonial bathing in blood. I think this is a perfectly designed monkey's paw advantage, and I'm disappointed Survivor hasn't brought it back again. It epitomizes the risky nature Survivor wants advantages to have in the new era, as well as their focus on fun. On the surface, it forms a bond between the 3 players, who all have a fun little secret none of the other players know about. But of course, it also highly incentivizes them to try to take each other out, and I think it is that distinction that makes this an even bigger curse than your run-of-the-mill Beware advantage. With all 3 players in the game, the extra vote is borderline useless. The stars would really have to align for that to have any value. With 2, the vote steal has niche value, but being the last one standing and having that immunity idol in your pocket sure sounds a lot better. It's definitely an advantage, but only for the last person left standing. I think this hasn't come back yet because in Survivor 42, this played out about as boringly as it could have. It was initially found by Lindsay, Drea, and Hai in the opening challenge, and they all agree to reconvene at the merge. Pinky promise you won't backstab me? Hai went out first, then Drea, but the amulet was not a huge factor in either of their demises. The tide was largely turning against both of them, regardless. Then, to really make things exciting, Lindsay just opted not to use her new idol at Final 6, the last chance she could, for fear it would introduce a new idol into the game. So it kinda went out with a whimper in its inaugural run. But hey, things that sucked the first time around have been given plenty of second chances on Survivor, so why not trot this one out again? I mean, if they can give Francesca another shot at Survivor and have the balls to call her a favorite, surely they can bring this thing back. At number 4 is Knowledge is Power, which I'm officially declaring a new Survivor curse. We've had the car curse, the orange starting tribe curse, the intro curse, and now the Knowledge is Power curse. For an advantage that is ostensibly supposed to help you in the game and is in fact mechanically overpowered, this thing sure has led to a lot of its owners' downfalls. Knowledge is Power is, on paper, perhaps the most OP advantage in Survivor history. The finder can, at Tribal Council, ask any one player if they have an idol or advantage, and that player not only cannot lie and must reveal if they do, but also give said idol or advantage up to the asker. Not only can you stop someone from using an advantage, but you can walk out of Tribal with the jewelry yourself. Introduced in Survivor 41, a season where idols were basically public knowledge by design, the outcry over this was, well, not actually the most whined about thing from the fan base for Survivor 41, but it was top 5. Maybe. On paper, this is super powerful. In practice, it's never been used successfully and has either led to the user looking stupid or straight up gotten them voted out. In fact, the very overpowered nature of it puts a huge target on the finder's back, and shuffling your idols or advantages around amongst your allies has become commonplace as a way to play around this thing. This meta crystallized in its first appearance in Survivor 41, when Liana defected from the Yasa alliance at the merge and tried to use this advantage to take Xander's idol at the first merge vote, only for Xander to publicly embarrass her.
Do you have an idol, Xander?
No, but you can have this fake.
God, I just hate you so much I could kiss you. I mean, kill you. Knowing Liana was likely to use this advantage, Xander gave his idol to Tiffany before Tribal Council, meaning that when Liana asked him if he has an advantage, he technically was not lying when he said no. In Survivor 42, Drea intended to steal Mike's vote, but divulged this information to Omer, who held Mike's idol for safekeeping and then went ahead and twisted the knife by blindsiding Drea that round instead. In Survivor 43, Gio acquired this advantage and told Carla for some reason. Oops. And when it was reintroduced a few episodes later and found by James, much of the tribe turned against him and he was quickly blindsided before he could use it. The curse of knowledge's power is that it's the type of advantage that is hard to use solo. You can't just tell your allies, don't worry about that idol. You kind of have to loop them in on your intention to use it. But once players know you have it, you're a dead man or woman walking, because I don't care how close we are. If you have the ability to steal my idol, you gotta go. And even if you do use it correctly, now you very publicly have an idol or advantage. In Survivor, knowledge is power, yes, but knowledge's power is actually kind of a cursed advantage, and it actually seems like knowledge of knowledge's power is the real knowledge is power. Are you following this? At number 3 is Chrissys Advantage of Knowledge in Survivor Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. Okay, I can already hear the cries of this actually being good. After all, the advantage wasn't Final Four fire making existing, it was Chrissy getting to know about it beforehand. But I still think this is largely useless, and at best neutral. I mean, if you don't know how to make fire quickly on day 38, you're not gonna learn in an afternoon. But let's rewind. When Ben lost the Final Four immunity challenge, he was the boot. He had a good run, he was one upside down U away from victory, but his game ends when Chrissy wins Final Four immunity. Chrissy, Devin, and Ryan are voting him out, no question. Along with Chrissy's immunity win, she gets a note to be read in private. Oh, it's probably like a note from her husband to get her through these last few days, or oh my god. This day 38 parchment is an advantage in the form of knowledge, the knowledge of one final impending twist in the game, that Chrissy will get to take one player to Final 3, and the remaining 2 will get to make fire for the 3rd spot. Some actuary. Couldn't even calculate this twist coming. Information in Survivor is everything, but how valuable is this really? The knowledge that you're about to get screwed over and have one of your biggest accomplishments in the game, winning final immunity and taking out Ben, potentially taken away from you is actually kind of a mental burden and downer. And it doesn't help that Chrissy's pony to take out Ben, Devin, broke the flint while practicing fire and just decided to relax on the beach all day instead. We don't have to litigate Final Four fire making. It was not invented last minute to save Ben. But having the foreknowledge that you just lost Survivor doesn't really make this a valuable advantage. I mean, this may as well have just been a fax of Jeff's butt cheeks. At number 2 is the Reward Steal Advantage, won by Adam in Survivor Millennials versus Gen X. This advantage allows you to steal someone's reward. That's good. Stealing someone's reward will only make them mad at you and potentially target you. That's bad. But the reward comes with your choice of food. That's good. The rewards contain potassium benzoate. That's bad. This is an advantage even Jeff admits is designed to curse you. While he acknowledges that stealing someone's reward can be used to shore up an alliance late in the game, he also admits that it can and will most often burn you. Adam won this reward at the merge of Millennials vs. Gen X, and like the savvy superfan he is, quickly realized just how much of a burden this thing is, and tried to get rid of it as soon as possible. The issue is, stealing someone's reward is guaranteed to upset them for the upside of, what, eating Applebee's? In a game where trust is currency and social capital is paramount, the juice isn't worth the squeeze on this one, no matter how much you're craving that sweet, sweet MSG. Adam does just about the only thing a smart player can do with this advantage. He gives it to someone else. He gifts this advantage to Jay as a way to build their relationship, knowing full well that this so-called advantage is anything but. It seems unlikely we'll ever see this one again. It showed up again in Survivor Edge of Extinction, and its finder, Ron, was smart enough to just let it expire. And in the era of superfan casting, it seems doubtful to me that anyone would use it given its extreme niche value and heavy downsides. But I wouldn't mind seeing it as like a summit advantage, as it's not super game-breaking. Although they would have to up the quality of rewards if they actually want to see this one get some play. I'm sorry, but I'm not burning all my social capital for stew. The most cursed advantage of all time is the literal fake advantage found by Jamal in Survivor Island of the Idols. This was a hanging paper in the jungle designed to literally punish the finder for no reason. The second round after the merge, Jamal and Karishma are wondering how they're going to avoid being the next two to go home. Luckily, Jamal finds an advantage obviously dangling from a tree that says, "You found me, I'm yours," on the exterior. Okay, first of all, why is the advantage flirting with him? As we all would, Jamal opens up his sultry new advantage, which sends him to the Island of the Idols immediately. Well, this can only be good news. Everyone who's gone to Island of the Idols has returned with some sort of advantage from Rob and Sandra's bag of tricks, and Jamal, more than anyone, needs a little help right now. But when he arrives at the Island of the Idols, he is informed that the advantage was the too good to be true advantage, I guess. By simply grabbing this note, Jamal lost his vote. You see, per Boston Rob, there are no free lunches on Survivor. Setting aside the literal hundreds of literal free lunches on Survivor, Jamal was apparently supposed to not grab this dangling note because it's too good to be true. On what planet would anyone, literally anyone on Survivor, not take an advantage because it's hidden too obviously? It doesn't even have a warning. You're trying to tell me that Rob and Sandra wouldn't have grabbed this thing? Okay. As compensation for losing his vote, Jamal is given a blank parchment and a pencil so he can write his own fake advantage and try to trick someone else. You know, because advantages are always written in pencil. Now, 99 times out of 100, this would be garbage, but Jamal writes out a fake legacy advantage and somehow convinces Dean it's real. Yeah, Dean, Rob and Sandra told me the advantage printer ran out of ink, so we had to do it by hand. Jamal's too good to be true advantage was not only useless, it negatively impacted his game, robbing him of his vote when he needed it most for a piece of paper that, again, would be useless on any Dean-free season. Got nothing else for ya. There are no free lunches on Survivor, but there are free videos on this channel, so like and subscribe, and I'll get you more Survivor content just like this. Until next time, don't get idled out.